When these psalms are written down, Plato has been written about Atlantis, and the Greek Dark Ages is in the height of its early form of democracy and development of the Greek alphabet. The Hittite civilization was on its downfall when the city of Troy and Gaza were destroyed. And with all that going on, a young King David is on the run from his enemies. So, welcome to Leah's Bible Babble Songs. These songs take place when King David, before he became king and got arrested by the Philistines, and trying to make sense of the whole situation. There is one line of words that keep repeating, I am not afraid. Those words can be interpreted in two ways. One is that someone is afraid and trying to convince himself that he isn't, while the other way has more confidence and trust from someone that believes in a higher power. Speaking of higher power, in line 9, an expression is made, your book. That God has everything written up in a book of all deeds someone does during his or her lifetime. The thought of a god or deity having some uh, having the destinies of people written down in a book is neither new or unique. It has the range from the Greek mythology to Santa Claus. It's a matter of the hen and the egg here. But in the long run, it doesn't matter. For me, it became a spiritual relationship when I realized that my destiny was already decided. That I stopped chasing after things and people that didn't love me, and I got peace. Not only peace of mind, but also inner peace, and with that, strength. So I can relate with King David here when he surrounded his all to God, and even if he was a prisoner of war, it didn't break his faith. He ends the Psalms with line 14. You have saved me from death, saved me from falling, so I can wander before God in the light of life. Once again, the word light is mentioned. The light as a symbol of over life and God's guidance. Light as in a candlelight is the opposite of darkness, but also in a way of keep darkness away and prolong the day with everything that was needed to get done. But light is also something else. It's the source for fire. The fire was needed in everyday life, from making food, drying wet clothes, and keeping warm, and also something to gather around when the day started to end, and maybe even tell stories to each other. It got me thinking of the song The Light by Disturb. There's a link down below if you want to know, the drill. Where the chorus goes, sometimes the darkness can show you the light. And David Draymond is right. We need darkness to be able to see the light, God's light, as much as we need light to be able to discover where there's darkness. These Psalms takes place when King David is hiding in a cave. And you can feel how the walls are crumbling down on him, even if he's standing fast in his belief of salvation and repentance. It all starts with line 2b and c. I'm running to you and make my relief in the shadows of your wing. Here is God like a hen that counts her blessings and protects her hatchlings under her wings. And as long as you are under those wings, you are safe. In line 4, he writes, He sends me help from the heavens when my enemies talk down on me. God shows his goodness and righteousness, sending me help from the heavens. That can mean both something physical or something mental. Physical in the meaning of everything from an angel or warrior to rain and thunderstorms, or something mentally like strength, endurance, or courage. In retrospect, we know that King David stood his ground and he praised the Lord for that. In line 7, you can find the embryo of the saying, if you're digging a hole, don't fall into it. The line goes, they were digging a hole for me, but fell into it themselves. I can see for my inner eye God as the invincible force that innocently pushes those that were digging the hole in the first place. But this line has a profound meaning, spiritual too. Don't wish bad things upon anyone. It can happen to you too. The last verse of the psalm begins with something really beautiful with line 8. My heart is ready. Here is always room in your heart to let God live there. Think of it as a first-time parent. You love your child with everything you got, and you think that there is no more space for anything or anyone else. And then a sibling arrives, or a puppy, and there is room in your heart for more love. Maybe not in your bed or couch, but there is something completely different. The first two lines, 2 and 3, resonate something within me. That words that are written down 2.5 millennia ago still current today, and with a movement that questions, what are we doing today? The line goes, do you really make justice, you powerfully? Are you judging the people right? Now you act with bad intent and spread violence over the world. What is right and righteous might have changed back and forth during the years, but violence is the same, no matter if that is a slap on the chin or a bomb over a city. I want to believe that Jesus was affected by those lines, so much so that it became a part of his Sermon at the Mount. The rest of the psalm is about how God punishes the unrighteousness or godless ones. But what caught my attention was line 9. Like an incomplete fetus that gets absorbed, a stillborn that never can see the sun. It makes me wonder if David writes from experience here. He gets Bathsheba pregnant after the first time he slays with her, and also against her will. She was still married, so the child was out of wedlock, which was shameful at the time. and I believe she got an early miscarriage. Now, here's some fun facts. Women of all kinds throughout history have some kind of superpower, knowing when she's ovulating. I have even have an archaeological evidence for this. The first calendar that has been found is a bone with 28 marks for it. That bone is over 25,000 years old. And the only thing that needs 28 days, not even the lunar cycle, is 28 days. The only thing that is 28 days is the ovulation. So it's always been someone in every society of sorts that had the knowledge how to protect women from an unwanted pregnancy or how to end one. This might be controversial for some, but it is a reality that has been around through the ages. It all comes together at the end in line 12c. There is a God that judges on earth. I found it intriguing that the sentence is composed with a God, not the God. With a God, it implies that there is more than one. But I leave the rest up to you to decide. Believe in God and you are protected. You know the scene from Braveheart. The Lord tells me I will get out of this mess, but you are fucked. That is exactly what the message is in this psalm. In lines 10 and 11 it says, "You are my strength, I worship you, God is my safe haven. My God is faithful and comes to my aid. God lets me see my enemy's demise." But it all gets interesting in the last part of line 14. That is about how and where God's rule to the end of the world, with the perspective that there is a boundary. This is 1500 years before anyone even breathed about Earth as a round and not flat. But to reach a boundary, it is easier with a flat surface than a round one. Moving on. The Psalms ends with a thanksgiving in line 18. "You are my strength, I praise you. God is my safe haven, my God is faithful." Once again, it reminds me of the song Total Praise, with the chorus God. "You are the source of my strength, you are the strength of my life. I lift my hands in total praise to you." Even before the verses this psalm even begins, there are some instruction to the reader or some background story of all. And the just instructions that comes with this one is short but simple to teach. So what is it that King David wants us to learn? That God is merciful God. Do right by him and he will do right by you. But I want to linger on the line 8 to 10, just because they are so of a great importance to Jesus and later Paul when we come to the New Testament eventually. And that is how God functions in a way. God claims cities, valleys, and ethnic people, and implies that without one of them, God wouldn't be God. Jesus and Paul breaks this down to be more comprehensive and compare God and the congregation for a human body. You know what they're talking about, the hand when it functions without the head. But we can, one thing, we can't function properly without the other, basically. We can function without God, but what life would that be? God, and with that belief in spirituality, has always been a big part of my life that I don't know anything else. But I can only imagine there would be an empty life without dreams and motivations. And King Davis is onto something here in line 14a. With God, we can do great things. It's a collaboration between God and humankind, but together we can move mountains. Thank you for watching or listening to me. Leave a comment down below, share, like, and subscribe to the channel as always. In the description there are useful links if you want to read more, and also to my other social media accounts. Feel free to browse around in here, and there's no topic that is too great or small to be discussed. There is a playlist for both the seeker and to the believer, and I hope that you have found something that you like. So with that, I want to end with, remember, if you don't know to be anything, at least be kind. Love and light to you all, and I see you in the next chapter. Bye!